USB-C audio.
Output is USB. The USB.
No, what I'm saying is I didn't plug in the audio port to the laptop, so there's no audio going to be going in on that.
Yeah, it is.
Summer is over, and that means it's football time here in Tennessee, and we welcome you in to Legion Field here on the campus of Gatlinburg Pittman High School, getting set for the kickoff of the regular season. We've got the Cabarrus Stallions JV taking on the Cabarrus Stallions, Cabarrus Stallions JV taking on the Georgia Force JV. Welcome in James Shannon, Brendan Daniels on the call. We'll also be on the call for the varsity game this afternoon as well. But Brendan, obviously with a JV game, you've got younger guys that either are unproven or have had minimal playing time. And this is a really great opportunity for these young men to not just show the coaches what they've got, but to kind of prove to themselves too and build a little momentum, because the guys that are playing in the games now, they're going to be the starters down the road.
And this is your moment in time just to show out and see what you can do, not only by going by plays, but also just put in the extra work and extra effort into doing what you need to do to help this team win.
And obviously the young men getting the toughest test of the day, starting the game at 11 o'clock, a little bit earlier than you're usually used to, even for a JV situation. But that, whoever comes out on top in this game, that's going to be a very tough battle-tested team, and some of these guys do transfer up to the varsity side, and some of them will at least dress out for the varsity game. So that's going to play a factor into it. But these guys, they're going to be tough going off of, you hope they went to bed at a decent time last night, because it's in terms of broadcast and playing a game, it is fairly early.
Yeah, but these are times you live for, you trained all your whole time during the summer. You might have a little here and there, but as long as you stayed well and ready to go, I think you'll be all right.
The key, hydration.
Oh, yeah.
Have to stay hydrated. Hopefully we won't see too many cramps. We're going to send you back to the field. We'll be live with the opening coin toss here momentarily, or after the coin toss. We've done the anthem. So coming up next is opening kickoff right here on 8-Man Extreme. Cabarrus Stallions have won the coin toss.
I said, let me get the scoreboard.
Why are we live?
Is the camera good?
Okay.
No, that's still kind of crooked.
Yeah, we were live. Cabarrus Stallions have won the opening coin toss. They will receive the opening kickoff. Georgia Force set to boot it away. Let's play a little early morning football, y'all. Let's get it going. Great crowd on hand here at Legion Field in the thicket. And the kick is away. Down to around the 25-yard line is where it'll be a return. On the left-hand side has a seam up across the 40 down to the 42. And that is where the Stallions will take over. Jackson Robeson on the return. Of course, one of the stars in the Rising Stars game last year, here, right here on this same field on the campus of Gatlinburg Pittman High School. Thank y'all so much for tuning in as we support these young men, give them an opportunity to have a cool experience here in Gatlinburg. Cool experience for all the young men up here. 1st and 10 from the 42. Man in motion to the right. It'll be a pitch to the right, looking for the edge. Cuts it up the middle, across the 50, 45, across the 40, across the 35, and down to the 30-yard line. That's number 3, Jackson Robeson, the young man who showed up in the Rising Stars game last year, showing up here today.
And what a gap that the O-line gave him. He just ran through and just took care of all the rest and just burrowed through everyone that was in his way.
We'll have a replay for you guys here on the next play. First and 10, and the pistol, handoff, and he is met and dropped like a bad habit. That's number 36, Carter Lyman from the Georgia Force. Loss of yardage, right at the line of scrimmage, so 2nd and 10. Ball on the ground, bad snap, and the up back has to grab it. This time there will be a loss of yardage. It'll bring up about a 3rd and 11. And that's going to be Liam Watson saving the possession for the Cabarrus Stallions. Going with a quick game, no huddle. They love that. They love to motion into the eye. Looking, dropped at the 40. That's number 50, Ronald Skeet.
Just a D-line winning in the trenches there. If you watch the replay, just no chance for the quarterback to even have time to think about it and throw the ball.
So Cabarrus Stallions after a big Cabarrus Stallions with a big gain the first 2 plays of the game. They're driven back to a 4th and 20. They're going for it. Directing traffic. Man in motion from left to right. Takes the snap, fires right. Now it's a wide receiver screen, looking for the edge. Has it, makes man miss. Comes back inside. That's Barton Jr. He's reverses field to the left-hand side around the 25, 20, 15, and it'll be brought down at the 8-yard line. Correction, the 13-yard line. That's going to be a first down. Brendan, watch this young man reverse field, break tackles, and just put the team on his back.
It's just extra effort, and he's trying to get that extra play in. Like I said, those are the type of plays you make to make it up to the varsity for next year.
That's number 7, Jacob Booth, in at quarterback for the Stout. Nope, correction. It's number 11, Weston Michelik. Give to the back, up the middle, has space, and he will stumble his way to the 5. That's Watson on the carry again. Stallions giving Robeson a little bit of a breather. It'll bring up a 2nd and goal from the 7-yard line. 10-minute quarters here in this JV game. Stallions knocking on the door. Big bailout earlier in the game on a 4th and 20, and it was Watson making it happen. Michelik give on the left-hand side, looking for a hole. Spin move down to the 2. And that was Barton on the carry there. So 3rd and goal from the 2. Cabarrus looking to punch it in. Force looking to stop him. Directing traffic, moves the back to his left, takes the snap. Give, up the middle. Is he in? He is. Touchdown. Stallions.
Just give it to the big man and let him just force his way in there.
Solid opening drive from the Stallions. As they take the 6-point lead, and I believe they'll go for the 2 points here. And they will. Michelik directing traffic. Garmin is in the backfield. Barton Jr. is in for the 2-point. On a sweep to the left-hand side, he's in. And the Stallions lead the Force 8-0. This is the 2022 Gatlinburg Black Bear Brawl right here on 8-Man Extreme. Welcome back to the 2023 Gatlinburg Black Bear Brawl, Cabarrus Stallions. It only took them 3 minutes and 39 seconds to get into the end zone. Great start to the drive. They got pushed back to a 4th and 20, and then Watson bailed them out with a end around. And so they're able to punch in. There are 10-minute quarters, and then at the half, it will be a 10-minute halftime. Here's the kick. Line drive, bounces at the 45, still bouncing and out of bounds. Force will have the ball, I believe, at the 40-yard line. And so the boys from the Peach State will take the field. And again, these young men on the JV side of the roster, they're the starters of tomorrow, Brennan. They're the guys that, you know, the varsity coaches that aren't, they have a ton of coaches on the sideline, so I'm sure they're there, but they're keeping a close eye on these guys, and they're going, hey, let's make sure, you know, I don't want to say pour a little bit more into this young man, but, hey, let's keep an eye on this guy.
And that's the name of the game. It's just keeping an eye on not only just one guy, but a couple of guys. Anybody that makes a key play, rather a block or tackle, is going to be highly looked at.
Out of bounds kickoff, they'll get the ball at the 35-yard line. Man in motion from right to left. Snap, pitch to him on a jet sweeper on the left-hand side. That's going to be Armbruster, and he's down to the 37. There is a flag on the play. We'll get the call here momentarily. You see right there on the end around, it probably end up being a holding. Let's see what we've got here. Yep. It's tough on those jet sweeps, Brendan. You know, you're trying to give your guy the edge. You're trying to keep someone from taking a shot at him. And, you know, just get your hands on a guy for too long. He turns, and all of a sudden you've got holding.
Yeah, you just got to keep your balance and keep those hands up and jab them as much as you can, and hopefully you can get a good hand on that defender.
If he gets turned, you got to let him go.
Yes, sir.
So it'll be first down and 20 after the holding call. Ball now at the 25-yard line. This will be number 5, Caleb Dill. Taking the snap, looking left, in his face. Pass complete. That's number 0, Tyler Fugler. And he's one of the young men. He gets playing time on JV and varsity, and the flag flies. A little bit of conversation between Barton Jr. and Fugler. And so we will get a call here.
Well, it's a good catch by number 0 as well. He just mossed that kid just right over his head.
He climbed the ladder.
And he definitely dominated him in their one-on-one matchup.
These young men, JV side, probably looking anywhere from 14 to 16. Emotions run high, and that's something that I think is underrated for coaches to have to manage, is not just these young men between the whistles, but these young men after the whistles as well.
Yeah, because everybody's playing for a spot for that future varsity team, and you're going to do whatever you can, whether it's going to be a little roughing up the offensive player or not.
A little bit of pride involved in these games, too. Got to represent your state. There's the give up the middle and nothing doing. That's number 30, Andrew Beneke, with the carry. And that Stallions defense was right there.
Looks like a little miscommunication between the offensive line there. You see 52 and, 67 just got lost and didn't know who to block.
So it'll bring up a 2nd down and a loss of 2. So 2nd and 12. Coming up on halfway through the first quarter. James Shannon, Brendan Daniel on the call here at the inaugural 2023 Gatlinburg Black Bear Brawl. So excited to have you with us. Excited to be able to give these young men this platform. Dill takes the snap, rolls right. He's going to throw, looking right, pass is intercepted. He got it. That's Barton Jr., and what a way to answer by the young man. He knew that he'd hurt his team, and he needed to make up for it, and he answered and rose to the challenge.
And that's how you just make up for that play call, that flag, is just do whatever you can, and that's that moment right there where you step up and get that interception.
Bugler mossed him around the 50 earlier, and just then, Barton Jr. able to climb the ladder. It looked like he was in a hurdle competition going up and getting that ball. Excellent athletic ability from that young man.
And good read on the play as well.
So 1st and 10 Stallions, who lead 8-0, 4:35 to go in the first quarter. Ball is going to be at the start at the 28-yard line. Michalik takes the snap, and we'll get some whistles. It'll be a false start as we see the motion from the official on the far side. So it'll move the Stallions back 5 to the 23-yard line. It'll be 1st and 15. Stallions going with a shotgun formation, 2-by-2. Michalik takes the snap, looking, fires sidearm to the left-hand side, incomplete, intended for Barton Jr. And Brennan, that Georgia Force defensive line, getting some pressure on the quarterback, making him rush that throw a little bit.
Yeah, they're just winning in the trenches. That's all it is. And that pressure just gives that little amount of time for the quarterback to even think about anything he can do.
I feel at this level of football and this age, I think defensive line is going to be a little bit easier. And when you get a good offensive lineman, man, it's so invaluable.
Oh, it's a breeze for a defensive line if you can just run through the offensive line with no problems.
Screen out to the right-hand side. That's to Robeson. Makes man miss, looking for the edge, and he'll get brought down at the 40 by Bugler. Great read there by Michalik. And again, the Cabarrus Stallions get a 1st down on a long yardage to go. I mentioned Robeson being in that the Rising Stars game. Got the opportunity to play ball with quite a few other young men, all the best at their level. That freshman to junior level, and that was a great game. Robeson showing that experience he learned there. Barton in motion. Michalik takes the snap, fires left. Catch is made at the 43, and that's going to be Jacob Booth with the grab and a 1st down. 2nd down for the Stallions. It'll be a gain of 4.
And it's almost like the defense knew that was coming. They were ready, prepared for that screen, and they just went at it easily.
Shotgun formation, once again, 2-by-2. Michalik takes the snap, high snap, snags it, fires left, looking down and overthrows his man. Actually a 2 right there in the vicinity. Looks like 26, looks like 24. That's going to be Powell. Powell and Booth were the intended receivers. Either one of them trying to hit them. So 3rd and 6 here for the Stallions. Just under 3 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Brennan, if you had any questions about whether or not these young men were awake, they're here.
Oh, yeah, they're wide awake. Like I said, they're ready. They've probably been ready for this game. The coaches probably got them hyped up and told them this is their moment, this is their time.
There's the pitch to the right-hand side. Oh, what a hit. Good night in the morning. He got dropped harder than the bag of groceries when you have too many in your hands. That was a lick.
Again, the defense just looks like they're ready for it. They're just reading on what that offense is doing up and just hitting them hard.
Good night. And it's 4th down, 4th and 3. And Stallions will elect a punt. We'll get whistles here. And a timeout called by Cabarrus. They're going to get their plan together, get their ducks in a row, and kind of recenter, and we'll step aside. This is the 2023 Gatlinburg Black Bear Brawl right here on 8-Man Extreme. Stallions seemingly have gotten their ducks in a row, and they figured out what they're going to do. It's still a punt formation. Quick snap to the up back, and he's stuffed. He picks up a yard or two, but it's not enough. And that'll be a turnover on downs. And Georgia Force. And that 34 is Michael Tyson. They're calling him Iron Mike with the stop there.
Young Georgia Force defense showing the coaches, hey, you got a lot of guys over here that can just play in the varsity game, so just get ready.
Force will start with the ball on the plus 49. And that's a reference to the NFL tracker that you can see. If they're in opponent's territory, it's plus whatever yard. Coming up on a minute to go, we'll get a timeout, and I believe the Force will take it. The excitement of the stop, they were trying to get everyone organized. That may not have happened, and so they'll kind of reset and maybe get things figured out. Well, don't go anywhere as soon as this game is over. We've got a full day of football for you right after this game. The plan is the kickoff at 12 p.m. We'll have Lighthouse Warriors taking on the Pack Panthers at 1 Eastern, 12 Central. And then at 3 Central, 4 Eastern, we'll have the varsity version of Georgia Force, Cabarrus Stallions. And then the nightcap, 7 Eastern, 6 Central. It's Evangel Christian School out of Alabaster, Alabama, the 5-time defending 8-man national champions. They will take on Cary Christian School, the Knights, out of Cary, North Carolina. So big matchup there. And, of course, today we'll have Alabama versus South Carolina, Georgia versus South Carolina, and Alabama versus North Carolina. So a little bit of Southern action all right here in Tennessee. And it's all right here at the Gatlinburg, on the campus of Gatlinburg Pittman High School. This is also Rocky Top Sports World, their campus as well, shared situation, great relationship between them. We'll get a false start on the Force. And always a awesome environment here at Rocky Top Sports World. Had the opening ceremony last night. The teams were introduced. Had a lot of fun. So Force will get moved back to the negative 46. It'll be 1st and 15. Of course, the two 8-man matchups today, Lighthouse and Pack and Evangel Carey, they've never met. Force and Stallions both in formerly the Pioneer Football League and then recently rebranded to the Southeastern Independent Football League. This is Dill at quarterback. Give to the right-hand side, and that's Beneke with the carry. Met by that Stallions defense. They did get a small gain, but not really enough to shake a stick at. I mean, you got to start somewhere, but
And these are good hits that these defenses are putting on, and that's perfectly tackled. Wrap them up and just sit them down.
and that'll be the end of the first quarter. Force will not get the play off. And that'll send us to the second quarter. Stallions scored on the opening drive. Since then, it's been turnovers back and forth. This is the 2023 Gatlinburg Black Bear Brawl right here on 8-Man Extreme. Welcome back to the second quarter. Apologize about the camera shot. We'll get that fixed here momentarily. There we go. 2nd and 13. Ball at the plus 48-yard line, or minus 48-yard line, rather. Force on their own side of the field in the shotgun. Of course, this drive started after the Stallions faked the punt and were unsuccessful. Dill takes the snap, looking left, fires left. Oh, and in and out of the hands of Vugler right around the 45-yard line. And so that'll bring up a 3rd down for the Georgia Force.
Got to catch before you think about running. That's the main part of being a wide receiver.
And obviously this game matters to the young men playing and, in terms of just getting the experience, getting the opportunity. But the game this afternoon between the varsity teams, that will actually count for conference standings. These two teams in, I mentioned it earlier, the Pioneer Football League. Dell looking right, fires deep, incomplete. Pass intended for number 14, his brother Eli. And that'll bring up a 4th down. I was just saying, turn my headset down. If we need to turn the mic. And 13 for the Force, and they will punt it away now. And Stallions do have 3 players back deep. 1 can return, 2 can block. Here's the kick, and it's a spiral to the 30. It'll bounce on the left-hand side. It'll be returned by 24. That's going to be Powell, and he'll get up to the 34-yard line. Georgia Force doing a great job getting on top of the play. Solid punt also by Georgia Force. I mentioned Georgia doing a great job on the kick coverage. So Stallions will take over at the 35. Their last drive ended early by a turnover on downs. And their first drive ended in a touchdown, which was the only score of the game so far. 2-point conversion was successful, and that's how we got to an 8-0 score here in the second quarter. James Shannon, Brendan Daniels on the call. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining us. I want to give a shout out, whether you're a Stallions fan in South Carolina or a Force fan in Georgia. Thank you for watching. A modified pistol formation. Michelik takes the snap, flushed left, fires left, passes. Caught!
18.
Oh, my!
That's Stallions Chadwick.
And that's Tristan Chadwick with the catch. Look at this replay.
And that's how you catch. That's how you climb the ladder with one hand even. So talented. And way to get your extra play minutes right there on varsity.
So first you had Vugler for the Force climbing the ladder at the 50. And then Powell with the snag. Michelik drops, pressured, dropped. Number 50, Ronald Skeet with his second sack of the day.
It was like he just burrowed through. He was evenly touched.
Right up the
He
middle.
just ran through and got that quarterback easily.
So 2nd and 21 is what we're looking at. Force driven back to their 35-yard line. 1st and 10. I'm sorry, 2nd. Fires deep, trying to make that yardage back. Oh, my! Travis Barton!
That's a 7, not a 10 moment.
That wasn't a 10, that was a 7. Look at this. Ladies and gentlemen, these are JV football players. They have no right to be doing what they're doing on this field. Barton with the catch. And Stallions, now they'll give 5 of those yards back just now. But Brendan, the second time today, Stallions facing 20 yards to go to get to the sticks, and they convert.
And there's always just a player that's willing to put up those yards just to get that first down.
First and 15 for the Stallions. Michelik takes the snap, fires left, incomplete. Right over the middle, intended. See if we can get a number here.
Just wide open and just couldn't get the hand on the ball.
It's number 18, Tristan Chadwick, the intended receiver on that pass. So 2nd down and 15 from the plus 40. Shotgun formation. Mishlik takes the snap, fires left on the screen, makes her first man miss. And finally brought down across the 30. That's Jackson Robeson. Shucking and jiving. And close to the first down. They're 5 away, 3rd and 5. Look at these moves, Brendan. This young man hit the, what button is that on Madden for the juke? Oh, hit right stick. Jerk the right stick back and then hit the B button. So 3rd and 5 from the 30. Give up the middle. Spun, made the first man miss. Held on to the ball. Watson on the carry. But that Force defense is right there to force the 4th down. And Brendan, the Force have done that all day long. Stallions able to get a big play. And then the Force just ripped that momentum away from them.
And 34, the first tackle, way to hold on tight to his foot and leg and just to wait for the other guys to help you out there.
And the Stallions looks like they will go for it here, trying to get the play call in, down to 5 minutes remaining in the second quarter.
I believe they're perfect 3 for 3 for going for 4, so why not take another shot?
The only failed 4th down they have is the fake punt in the first quarter. Mishlik takes the snap, looking. He's going to fire right, and incomplete. That Barton just could not come back for it. And that'll be a turnover on downs, second turnover on downs of the day for the Stallions. And the Force, though, taking over in their end of the field at the 32-yard line. Under 5 to go in the second quarter. And they are, Force need to answer right here. Now they will receive the opening kickoff of the second half. So presumably, Brendan, if they can make something happen here, they get that ball after halftime, punch the ball in again. Now you've got the 1-score lead. That's a potentially 16-point swing.
Yeah, your offense just has to make that potential score, and if not, they're going to have to put it on the defense to stop them and just go into halftime.
So ball spotted at the 32, 1st and 10. Dill in at quarterback. Give up the middle. There is a flag. And that's going to be Beneke on the carry. Flag flew as soon as the ball was snapped. We're going to have a false start on the offense. They'll lose 5 on that. And I believe it will still be 1st down. Opposing coach has the option to either decline and the ball stays where it is, or replay the down with a 5-yard penalty. Got a little airflow. Got to try to get a little airflow. It's a warm afternoon here in Gatlinburg. Dill in the shotgun, flanked on his left-hand side. He'll give it to that man. That's number 6, Stovall. And he'll get dropped at the 22, rather. So another loss of yardage on the play. Stallions all over that, Brennan. Sniffing it out, shutting it down.
Looks like both defenses are just on it. Yeah, everybody barely got touch and swam through the offensive line and just was able to get the running back.
Not going to lie, Brendan, it's a little strange to be here in Gatlinburg and just be sweating buckets. Typically here in December.
Well, welcome to Knoxville.
You got to wear a hoodie.
Yep, welcome to Knoxville, though, in Gatlinburg, where it gets really hot at times or it gets a little humid, either one.
Force in a shotgun formation, 2nd and 20. It's a 1-by-3 formation. Dill flanked on his left-hand side, takes the snap, looking left, pump fake, has to pull it down, flush right, fires, passes complete to the 22. He'll get dropped down at the 29. That's Armbruster with the catch. And they'll make back some of the yardage, but not enough. And that'll bring up a 3rd down and 13. Coming up on 2 minutes remaining in the first half. As you can see, Stallions lead the force 8-0. This is the JV game. And of course, we have a game at 12 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern, and 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. Great way to kick off the season, and big shout out to Rocky Top Sports World for putting this on. Dill takes the snap, looking left, fires left with a man in his face. Pass is incomplete, falls short. Almost looks like one of the Stallions could have come back to it, Brennan. It looked like a punt with the airtime it had. Now we'll stop the clock with 1:50, and it's 4th and 13. Looks like the force will punt away here. Had one punt earlier here in the second quarter. About a 30-yard punt, flipped the field enough. The Stallions got shut down. Here's the snap. Not a far kick, a high kick. Fielded at the 39, 41. Initially fumbled by Powell. He's able to grab it back and get up to the 36-yard line. So crisis averted there. Great heads-up play by the young man to kind of keep his wits, not panic, and give his team another shot with the ball. Here, coming up on a minute left in the first half. Might get a play or two, Brennan, but great job keeping his wits about him on that by Powell.
You just got to keep the eye on the ball and try to keep your hands on it if possible. You don't want to juggle it because then that gives the other guys the opportunity to hit you and possibly give up the ball.
Ball at the plus 35-yard line for the Stallions. Mishlik trying to get one more guy, and Cabarrus will have to burn their second timeout of the half, I believe. So one remaining. We'll step aside. This is the 2023 Gatlinburg Black Bear Brawl right here on 8-Man Extreme. We are back here on the campus of Rocky Top Sports World in Gatlinburg Pittman High School. Ball's on the ground, and Cabarrus has to fall on it. I believe that was number 2, Watson. Second time this today, had a bad snap. Watson had to fall on it. So it'll bring up a 2nd down and 13 for the Stallions. 30 seconds to go. Stallions really would love to take the 2-score lead. Fire out to the right-hand side. Wide receiver screen. Barton Jr. looking for the edge. Makes the first man miss. Forced it out of bounds at the 25. And that will be enough. They're going to move the chains. They're going to say he got just enough. Right at the chains, out of bounds. Barton Jr. making moves. Stallions, 15 seconds to go. They would love to put all the pressure back on the Force in the second half.
This is the moment to do it. Keep using that passing play. They can't stop it.
Michelik fires right. Got Barton Jr. again. Makes the first man miss. And finally brought down. Well, no, not yet. Finally brought down at the 15. The Stallions do have one timeout remaining, and they burn it. 3 seconds to go. They might, during this timeout, Georgia Force medical staff might want to head over there, make sure their man's ankles aren't on the ground, because Brennan, he shook him.
He might have shook him, but it'd been smarter if he had gone out of bounds instead of trying to gain more yards.
They're out of timeouts, and Cabarrus received to start.
And so Georgia Force will have the kickoff after halftime. Stallions have burned their final timeout. During halftime, we will stay. We'll try to have some audio, but we'll also have video. I believe the cheerleaders are doing a show here at halftime. Not this game. Okay. So we will step aside during halftime for the 10-minute period, and we'll be back with the second half. Presumably one play left here in the first half. .70 of you watching, whether you're from South Carolina, whether you're from Georgia, maybe you're Tennessee, Alabama, you just want to watch some good football on a Saturday afternoon. College football hasn't started yet. And so, but you got a hankering for some Saturday afternoon, Saturday morning football. We've got you right here. The 2023 Gatlinburg Black Bear Brawl. I mentioned it earlier. Big shout out to Rocky Top Sports World for putting this on. Of course, Gatlinburg Pittman High School right here, neighbors. And so they use this field for the All-American games, the Rising Stars games. It's a really cool way to start off the season for these teams. So final play, 1st and 10, ball at the 15. Stallions will go with a shotgun formation. 2-by-2, Michelik flanked on his right-hand side, and now the Force will burn a timeout. Their second of the half. And this also gives me a chance to tell you all about the rest of the day, what we've got coming up. I mentioned it earlier. So at 12 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Eastern, you've got Lighthouse Warriors taking on the Pack Panthers. Lighthouse Warriors out of Oneonta, Alabama. And Pack Panthers out of Columbia, South Carolina. Two teams that have never faced. And so that should be a good one. Of course, the head coaches for both, J.J. Duarte for Lighthouse, Tim Yeomans for the Pack Panthers. Opposite sides of the field, last year's All-American game. Lighthouse quarterback Elliot Knowles was the Rising Stars quarterback. Had several young men playing in the Rising Stars games on both sides. So a lot of talent coming back for those two teams. At 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern, you've got the varsity version of this game you're watching right here, Georgia Force, Cabarrus Stallions. And then tonight, the nightcap. Cary Christian School, the Knights out of Cary, North Carolina. They have traveled across the state, across the Tar Heel state to get here to Gatlinburg. Evangel Christian School, the Lightning out of Alabaster, Alabama. They've come up to Gatlinburg from Alabama, the 5-time defending national champions. They're taking on the newcomers. Big senior quarterback, David Wisniewski. So that'll be the nightcap tonight. Should be fun. Right now, though, we've got the JV teams for the Georgia Force and the Cabarrus Stallions. Ball at the 15, last play of the half. Michelik takes the snap, looking left, fires left, and got his man. Is he in?
He's in.
Is he in? Touchdown. Cabarrus Stallions. They took a timeout. Force took a timeout. And Cabarrus comes out with this. You can see the replay.
That was Liam Watson.
Liam Watson with the snag. I'm sorry, Brennan.
That's just how you make a play right there. Try to get wide as open as you can for your quarterback. Perfect throw. And Wade just lunge in for that touchdown. That's how you put pressure on a team that has 0 points on the board.
Receivers from both sides of the field. Absolutely laying out today. Cabarrus has done it a few more times than Forks, but Forks have had their moments. This has been an incredible first half. And now Cabarrus will try to make it a 16-point game. They were successful in the 2-point conversion on the first time. Michalik, give. They're not successful this time. Good night in the morning. Let's get a number. And Ronald Skeet, who already has a sack and a tackle for loss on the day, his second tackle for loss, shuts down the 2-point conversion attempt, and that'll do it for your first half. Game 1 of the Gatlinburg Black Bear Brawl. Right here on 8-Man Extreme, it's Cabarrus Stallions 14, Georgia Force nothing. We're going to step aside. We'll still have some audio, and obviously we'll stay with video. For you folks back home that want to watch the cheerleaders, I believe Cabarrus has some, and I'm not sure about the Force, possibly, but we'll definitely get this Cabarrus routine, and then we'll be back with the second half.
Please welcome to the field, the Stallions cheerleader.
Welcome back to the second half of the Game 1 of the 2023 Gatlinburg Black Bear Brawl. The Cabarrus Stallions, and Stallions fans, I'm going to apologize. They are from North Carolina. I do owe that sincere apology. They are from North Carolina. I will not disrespect y'all anymore. Kick return up to the 40-yard line. Bugler on the return for the Force, and so that'll bring up a 1st and 10 for the Georgia Force. Brennan, it was wild in the first half. It didn't seem it was a pretty even first half. Didn't seem like one team really controlled. If anything, it seemed like the Force controlled the game a little bit, but Stallions just had play after play after play making it happen, and they lead by 2 scores here in the second half.
The Georgia is definitely going to need to step up if they're going to keep in this game. But that defense on Cabarrus, honestly, both sides, they've both been playing well, but Cabarrus just has it all figured out offensively. And they have key players that are just putting up big play moments.
Bugler has made some plays for the Force, and they are burning a timeout to start the second half. No plays run so far, just the kickoff, and they're going to try to get everybody on the same page. Of course, their young quarterback for the Force, Caleb Dill. And I assume young because, Brendan, he's at least 2 or 3 inches shorter than every other player in that huddle right now.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean he doesn't have heart. I mean,
oh, absolutely. And he's got an arm.
Oh, yeah. We've seen it before.
For sure got an arm.
His wide receivers will go up and get it or even come back and catch the ball for him.
So 1st and 10. The clock ran down 52 seconds because it does not stop until that timeout was called. Shotgun formation, 2-by-2. They'll get the Force for a false start, moving back 5 yards. Brendan, if I'm not mistaken, 3rd, maybe 4th false start of the game for the Force, trying to get everything in order, trying to get on the same page, and that's 5 yards they're going to have to make back.
And I'm actually going to toss this back to you. When it comes to snap count, how does that work for offensive line?
I mean, your quarterback is going to tell you what it's on, and you got to, if you can't hear, then you corner of your eye or just look. You wait for that ball to move. It doesn't matter if that quarterback says supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, you don't move. Dill in the shotgun, flanked on his left-hand side, 1-by-3 formation. Dill takes the snap. Ball's on the ground, low snap, and he's just going to have to fall on it right at the 28-yard line. Bad snap. Great job by Dill to get back on it. So this will move the Force back to a 2nd down. I'm going to have to do a little math on this one. 2nd and 22. Now, Cabarrus has converted 2. There was a 4th and 20, and I believe it was a 3rd and 20. And, of course, both of those drives resulted in touchdowns. No, I apologize. The second one did not. Eventually it did, though. Force are going to have to convert here. Man in motion from right to left. Dill takes the snap. Bad snap again. He's going to have to grab it. He'll pick it up, try to make something out of it. On the left-hand side, he'll get brought down around the 13-yard line. That's going to be Jackson Robeson all over it. And it will count as a sack. You'll see Robeson just closing in quick. Caught the backside of the play there.
I envision the quarterback and the center is going to have a conversation after this drive on how they can get the snap working, because that's about 4 or 5 missed snaps there.
So the ball is at the, it's at the 12-yard line. It's 4th and 3rd, and I'm not going to count that. And Dill is in the shotgun. Man in motion from right to left. Dill, give up the middle. And ball is going to be carried there by number 3, Spittelnick. And he will get up to the 16-yard line. So it'll be 4th down and 34. 4th and 34. 4th and a third of the field. And Force will punt away here. Now, of course, the first punt from the Force, solid punt. Second punt did not travel as far. It was high, though, and coverage team was able to get to it. Let's see what kind of punt we have here. Kick is away, and it's a good kick. It'll bounce outside the 30 to the 35, and Stallions will fall on it at the 34-yard line. And so that's where the Stallions will take over on the plus 34. They might mark it at the 35. They will mark it at the 35. .34. It is a 34. 1st and 10 Stallions. They have a chance here to take a 3-score lead. And I'm sure the Stallions would love to go back to North Carolina. If you're a wrestling fan, you get that reference. If you're a wrestling fan, you get that reference. They have a chance to the JV side at least. They'll have a dub. And they will carry that into next year's matchup, JV matchup with the Force. We'll see what happens on the varsity side, though. First and 10. Letting the clock run. Michelik goes under center. Man in motion. Takes the snap. Looking left. Fires left. He's got his man at the 15, 10, 5. End zone. That's number 18, Tristan Chadwick. And the Stallions, lickety-split, have a 3-score lead.
And great play call by the coach. Just a nice little corner route, little hitch out, and get in the ball.
It looks like they ran the out route with the receiver, ran the drag with the slot man from the right-hand side. And so that way the defender had to choose, am I doing the near route or the far route? Picked the wrong one. Great throw by Michelik.
In my experience with the defensive coordinator, he's just telling you, find a man and stick with him.
So coming up on 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter, Stallions successful on their first 2-point conversion attempt, unsuccessful in the second to end the first half. And they'll try it again. I formation, give to the fullback, and he's stuffed like a Thanksgiving turkey. Right at the 4-yard line, 2-point conversion attempt is no good. We'll step aside here in just a moment. Well, they will say that Chadwick did not score a touchdown. I apologize. I assumed that he had gotten in, and then that was a 2-point conversion attempt. It was not. So this is second down. I apologize. Just Men in Black style, forget everything I've said for the last 2 plays or so. Pistol formation for Michelik. Looks like Watson is behind him. Man in motion. And we'll get whistles. We'll get a false start on the Stallions. It'll move them back 5 to the 9-yard line. Under 3 minutes to go. So this will be numbers. I want to give a shout out to all 68 of you guys tuning in, whether you're from South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia. Listen, there's some South Carolina teams in this Southeastern Independent Football League. You might be trying to, maybe you're a coach, you're trying to see what these two teams have on the JV level. So I want to give a shout-out to you, and also a shout-out mainly to the folks in North Carolina couldn't make the trip. Pass into the end zone, complete. Pass is complete to number 7, Jacob Booth. And Mishalik with a throw on the money, Brennan.
Yeah, the perfect route run. Just a nice look of slant and just beam it right into that man, straight in the middle of his jersey.
I think we go next year and make sure the coaches, if they send rosters phonetic spellings and extra.
So now you will have a 2-point conversion attempt. We can confirm that was a touchdown. Pistol formation. Give is to Barton around the left-hand side, and he's in. And we have a flag. Holding called on the offense, and they will retry the 2-point conversion, albeit with a 10-yard penalty. And they are looking at Barton on the far side. He is off the field.
He just instantly fell right
Cramps.
at his team. Yep.
Calling it. That's the tough thing about playing a game in August at 11 o'clock in the morning. If you have not drunk at least 3 gallons of water and a cooler of Gatorade or Powerade or Prime or Body Armor or whatever your drink of choice is, your Dollar General sports drink, you're going to cramp. You're going to be dehydrated. You need to eat a bunch of bananas. Drink a jar of Vlasic pickle juice.
I was about to say, Coach always had us drink some good cup of pickle juice before we started the game.
Maybe eat a pickle juice popsicle. Pitch to the back, right-hand side. And I believe that was Robeson with the run. 2-point conversion attempt unsuccessful. Just over 2 minutes to go. It's Stallions 20, Force nothing. This is the 2023 Gatlinburg Black Bear Brawl right here on 8-Man Extreme. Stallions set to kick away after an unsuccessful 2-point conversion attempt, but 6 points put on the board, and they lead by Bainty here in the second half. Kickoff down to the 15. Great kick. And I believe the Force were waiting to see if it would go out of bounds, and it's not. This is going to be Spittlenick on the return. Around the left-hand side, trying to find some space, and he will get dropped on the return. Nothing doing. And so Force will have to start inside their own 20. I believe it's at the 12-yard line. They'll verify, yes, at the 13-yard line. 8th grader Caleb Dill, the quarterback, doing an outstanding job. And a lot of these JV guys, Brennan, these are freshmen and sophomores. You're going to have some 8th graders, maybe even some 7th graders. So to have an 8th grader playing up with freshmen and sophomores, guys maybe a little bit older, a little more physically mature, and for him to be able to handle himself and carry himself the way he has today, very impressive.
Indeed, and he'll get more experience as it goes up, and I'm sure he'll probably get some varsity taste if he keeps going the route that he is.
Coach is definitely keeping an eye on him. Speaking of which, he's in the shotgun, flanked on his right, fires left to Vugler. Vugler across the 20, down to the 23 is where they will spot it. And let's see if it's enough for a first down. The original, yep, they will move the chains. Original line of scrimmage at the 13. And a good hard run there from Tyler Vugler, number 0. Now the force will send trips right. One receiver left. Shotgun, Dill flanked on his left. Give up the middle. Not a ton. That's going to be, I believe it's number 30, Beneke, with the carry, and that'll do it for the third quarter. Stallions have put another touchdown on the board, 1 per quarter. Force have yet to reach these gold end zones. And that'll do it for your third quarter. We'll be right back with the fourth quarter of action here at the 2023 Gatlinburg Black Bear Brawl right here on 8-Man Extreme. Coming back with a shot from the practice field to the left of the main field here. That's the Lighthouse Warriors warming up and getting ready for their game that kicks off at 12 p.m. with the Pack Panthers. 12 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. Of course, you can catch all those games right here on 8-Man Extreme. James Shannon, Brennan Daniels on the call for this game and the varsity Georgia Force Cabarrus Stallions game. Spencer Thompson will jump on play-by-play duties, and Brennan Daniel will stay for the 8-man games. Dill with a throw to the left-hand side. A lot of air, and Vugler got it at the 47, across the 50. First down, Georgia Force. If you're going to make a comeback, Brennan, you got to start somewhere, and that is a whale of a comeback, of a start.
And again, he just climbs the ladder again, just able to get over everybody, even his own teammate.
If you want to mention the MVP of this game gets automatically Rising Stars and Scholarship.
So ball is at the plus 48 on the Stallion side. Force have got to get it rolling.
Whenever there's obviously that time you can talk about who do you think's MVP, which I think might be obvious.
Shotgun. Trips right. Single receiver to the left. Dill takes the snap. Fires left. He's got his man. That's Vugler again. Making the first man miss across the 40. Finally dragged out of bounds at the 36, and that will stop the clock with 9 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. And, of course, Rocky Top Sports World, Mr. Andrew Capps, putting in the work. Just brought our lunch up. Very excited to have it, the local food truck, barbecue truck on site. So big shout out to Mr. Andrew Capps. He's also keeping an eye on this game along with other staff members. And they will select an MVP. Cool situation with that we'll mention here in a moment. Right now, though, 1st and 10 for the Georgia Force. Ball is spotted at the 36-yard line. Under 9 minutes to go now. Dill takes the snap, looking right, fires right for Vugler. Got his man across the 30, finally dragged down at the 28, right in the middle of the field. And for the force, Brennan, they know right now who their go-to man has to be, and it has to be this young man that's proven himself throughout the game.
And he's done everything that he possibly can for this team, rather to get the yardage or try to just catch the ball in general. And now they're going to have to try to find someone else because he's probably tired.
He's going to grab some air and some water. He is one of the young men that play up with the varsity, or dress out with the varsity at least. May have playing time as well. And they've brought out number 6, Joseph Stovall, in the spot that they usually have Vugler. Dill takes the snap, flush right, fires it, and he'll just throw it out of bounds. Great job throwing the ball away. And Brendan, sometimes young quarterbacks, that's something they haven't quite mastered yet. They haven't really picked up on yet. You got to be able to have that perfect throw the ball away, live to see another day, and don't cost your team an intentional grounding penalty.
Yeah, and it's a good thing that he knows that already, but I'm sure Coach is harsh on that because this team has been sending the whole yard at him, and he's been able to get out and make some passes, but that one he's going to have to just throw away and live another day.
Stallions at this point throwing the kitchen sink at that Georgia Force offensive line. Usually it's everything but the kitchen sink. They're throwing the kitchen sink. And it's working. Dill takes the snap, looking, fires right, fires deep. Pass is intercepted at the 5. We'll get a number here momentarily on the return. Great tackle, though, to shut down the return. Had a good return going. That's going to be number 24, Ryan Powell, with the interception. And 6 minutes, 40 seconds to go in the ball game. I mentioned Stallions lead. They have scored once per quarter. And I don't assume that the Stallions will be worried about scoring here. Brendan, run the clock out, keep everyone healthy, get out of this game, and take the dub.
Absolutely, and you just maybe even want to knee it once you get some good yardage, maybe past the 50 and try to have the defense make another stop because you're giving them barely any time.
Stallions getting everything squared away, crossing their I's, dotting their T's. And they will burn a timeout. Well, I mentioned the MVP. They're taking a look, trying to find the MVP of the game. And we'll talk about who we think that might be in a second, but really cool what they're doing for the MVP. Really, of all 4 games they're having today, that player will have an automatic scholarship, for the Gatlinburg Rising Stars game and All-American games. And, of course, they'll have a spot in the games. They'll already be pre-selected for the game with the scholarship. But a really cool thing that Rocky Top Sports World was able to roll into this, reward a player, reward 4 different players. But, Brendan, when you talk about potential MVP, I mean, the Stallions, obviously, with the lead, they've had the most plays. You do have Vugler from the Force who have made some plays, but in terms of the Stallions, Travis Barton, Jackson Robeson, I would put Michalik as a potential, the quarterback. But there's, I don't know about you. I want to get your thoughts on this, but there's one guy that stands out to me.
And who would that be? Because it's probably the same answer.
On 3. 1, 2, 3. Jackson Robeson.
Yep.
I'm thinking the young man. I know he was in the Rising Stars game last year, and that does not influence my thoughts on it. He has shown up today. That's 2 touchdowns?
Oh, yeah.
And the opening kickoff return. He has been the workhorse, pardon the pun, for the Stallions. Michalik fires right. Pass is incomplete. Brennan, I'll give you a chance. I'll give you a guess at who that pass was intended for. It was Robeson. I'll answer it for you. There you go.
And I want to even give the quarterback a little shout out. He has been slinging that ball
Yeah.
out there pretty well. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they chose him just because Robeson has been in the All-Star game so many times already.
I mentioned Barton. Barton showed up today, too. He's made some stuff happen. You could almost say Liam Watson because he's fallen on bad snaps twice and kept the drive alive and prevented a turnover. So several players for the Stallions that it could be. Meanwhile, Michalik drops back, fires left, pass incomplete, intended for Barton. But we do have a flag. We'll get a call here momentarily. And it's going to be on the Stallions. It'll back them up. So this will bring up, it will be half the distance. It'll bring up a second down. Let's see where they spot it. So they're going to spot it at the 12-yard line, 13-yard line. Nope, 8-yard line. I'll get the yard line eventually. 8-yard line, first down marker on the almost the 28, so 20. Second and 20 is what we'll call it. Michalik takes the snap from the shotgun, fires across the middle, pass incomplete. In and out of the hands of the intended receiver. I believe that was Chadwick. That'll bring up a third down. Clock stopping a little more regularly now with incomplete passes. As soon as this game is over, stay right here on this channel, folks. We're going to have 3 more games for you today. Lighthouse Warriors, Pack Panthers at 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Central. The varsity version of this game, Cabarrus Stallions and Georgia Force at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central. And then the nightcap, Cary Christian, Evangel Christian at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. Pass out to the right-hand side to Barton. Looking for the edge. He has space. One man to beat. And he will force him out of bounds. Great job by Stovall on the stop. Barton, that's some serious speed, Brennan.
And he just makes one guy miss. Just right there, one-on-one, and he's too fast to even get caught.
Stovall, doesn't look like maybe the fastest guy, but what do coaches always preach? Angles. Angles. You have to take the right angle. You have to break down. And even if you don't make the tackle, force the man out of bounds. We'll get a flag here. I believe we'll have false start on the Stallions. And so it'll move the ball back to the 37-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 15. Under 5 minutes to go here in the ball game. Great show of sportsmanship there between the boys in the trenches for the Force and the Stallions. Takes the snap, fires left. This is to Robeson. Robeson makes the first man miss, second man miss. Third man finally brings him down. And Vugler was in on the tackle. Brennan, I got a feeling Robeson and Vugler, that's 2 names we'll end up calling during the Rising Stars game this year.
Oh, yeah, and they're just showing out here on this play. And please believe they might be the MVP in the All-Star games for all we know.
Michalik takes the snap, fires right, looking for his man, incomplete. Pass was intended. Let's see if we can get a number. Chadwick, I believe, was the intended receiver. Vugler was a missile, though. And if Chadwick had been able to catch that, Vugler would have dropped him where he stood. So, very fortuitous situation. Mishlik takes the snap, fires right. Miscommunication. Pass intended for Seawick, I believe. Powell. Yep, pass intended for Powell on that. Little miscommunication there. Under 4 minutes to go here. Showed you the shot earlier. Lighthouse Warriors warming up on the field to the left of this main field. Pack Panthers warming up as well. Mishalik flushed out of the pocket and dropped. Ronald Skeet, his second sack of the day. He's got 2 tackles for loss. That young man is showing up. And again, Brendan, we mentioned it. This time he did have a little bit of adversity, and he still was able to beat the block and get the sack.
He was just patient and just waited for the quarterback to get out there, and as soon as he made that move, he moved this guy out the way and got the quarterback.
Ball goes back to the 47-yard line. It'll be 4th and about 15. Stallions will presumably punt this away. They did fake a punt earlier in the game, were unsuccessful. And they were going to punt this away. We'll get a flag. And we'll get encroachment on the defense here. Stallions will get 5 of those yards back. Under 3 minutes to go here in the game. So it'll be 4th and 12. They'll try again to punt away. This is going to be number 12, Taylor Warren. If I got my numbers right, the dark jersey is a little bit harder to see. Nope. Fake. This is Chadwick. Punt. And he gets the kickoff. It'll bounce at the 25, bounce inside the 15, and close to the 10. Yeah, Chadwick on the punt. Great kick for the young man. Took a fortuitous bounce. So the force, able to force the punt, but with 2:03 to go in the game, down by 3 scores. You got to think the coaches, the situation they're facing, you want to keep your guys healthy. You want to get out of this game. You know the reality, but you don't want your guys to quit, because when they quit, that mindset starts transferring.
Yeah, so at this rate, you just do whatever type of plays you can pull out your hat and just see what these guys can do. If you end up scoring, that's a positive for them.
First and 10 for the Force. Ball at the 10-yard line. 2:03 to go. Dill fires left pass incomplete, intended for Vugler. I'm sorry, not Vugler. Pass intended for Armbruster. Bring up a second down. They will, nope, clock will continue to run. So under 2 minutes now. Once this game is over, we will step aside for just a little bit. We'll go live at 10 till 12 Eastern. I'm sorry, 10 till 1 Eastern, 12 Central. Kickoff should be pretty close to top of the hour. Looking forward to that game between the Lighthouse Warriors and Pack Panthers. Dill grabs the snap, fires it left deep. Battle. Vugler's got it at the 35, across the 40, across the 45, the 50, 45, 40, 35, 30, and finally dragged down across the 30 at the 28-yard line. Tyler Vugler. And a great throw by Dill, too. Vugler battled for it. And a solid 30-yard gain from the time he caught the ball. And overall, 60-yard gain, over 60-yard gain. And Force will burn a timeout here. I believe it's their second of the half. Maybe their first of the half. It is their second of the half. They did burn the one right after halftime. they'll run their second timeout of the half. 56 seconds to go. I mentioned, Brendan, you got to communicate to your guys. You can't give up, but you also don't want your guys to get hurt. Force saying, hey, look, we're going to go out with a bang. If we score one touchdown, cool. At least we won't be shut out.
And that's one way of going out to the bang. And, of course, they went to their star player, and he did what he was supposed to do. Get out there, make your moves, and get as much yardage as you can. Now they have a chance to put something on the board.
I mentioned Vugler, one of the young men that plays up with the varsity here on JV level. He's number 0 on the varsity. He's number 21. And definitely showing today that he deserves to be up on that varsity level. Small assortment of fans on hand here in the stands, but a solid representation as well from Cabarrus. Force will be in the shotgun. Dill is going to be flanked on his right. Now he'll move Beneke to his left. 2-by-2 formation. Dill takes the snap. Looks left. Fires left. He wants his man outside. And he's got him inside the 10. He is down by contact. That's number 11, Jake Dollar. No, 15, Caleb Armbruster. And what a great throw from Dill. With a defender right there. Armbruster, baseball slid to grab the ball at the 8, and the Force will burn their final timeout, 44 seconds to go.
That's high school, so he wasn't contacted.
Force looking to not be shut out. That's the goal right now.
He didn't get contact at all. They didn't touch him or anything to try to get at him, but it's player safety.
And so we'll get a shot there. First you see the athletic building for the high school here on site right there. Beautiful field, turf field. So obviously you can play in any situation. Holds up very well. Obviously, what you have last year, you had the Rising Stars game, the All-American games, 3 games in a day. Today you'll play 4 games in one day on the same field. So a lot of talk on the about the debate between the turf fields versus grass fields, and they both have their pros and cons. The pro is you can play 4 games in a day, and the field won't be tore up by the time you get to your main event, which is at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern, between Cary Christian School and Evangel Christian School. This is going to be first down and goal from the 8-yard line. Force in the shotgun. Dill takes the snap, looking left, fires left. He wants his man Vugler. Vugler, did he get it? Touchdown. Wow. And I know it was a little, well, let's see what shot we have here. I was a little zoomed out. You'll see him right there at the top.
2 feet in.
Yeah, wow.
Good concentration.
What a catch. Tyler Vugler on this final drive of the game for the Force has been an absolute stallion and put the team on his back. So ball will go to the 2-yard line. Force will obviously attempt their first 2-point conversion attempt of the day. And we'll bring the shot in just a little bit. Dill in the shotgun, takes the snap, looking, fires right, pass complete. That's number 14, Eli Dill, the brother of the quarterback. They connect right here at the end. Eli's excited, coach is excited, Force fans happy. It's not a shutout. At bare minimum, not a shutout. And a great throw from Dill, too. Just a bullet into the end zone, Brennan.
And it's perfect. He just saw his guy. His guy just sat there, and all you have to do was toss that thing to him, and he can handle the rest.
37 seconds to go in the ball game. Force will only Only second time today they will kick off to the Stallions. So we'll close out the ball game here momentarily. The plan is for the kickoff to be at 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Central for Lighthouse Warriors Pack Panthers. And, of course, we'll keep you updated on that. We will go live before the game starts, so that way by the time you get a chance to pull it up, you'll see you won't miss any of the game. And I want to give another shout-out, all 73 of you watching the game, whether you're from North Carolina, the Peach State, and again, maybe you're from Tennessee, maybe you're from Alabama, all over the place. Thank you for watching. James Shannon, Brendan Daniel on the call. We'll be back for the call on the varsity version of this game between the Force and the Stallions. Your second and fourth games, the 8-man games, it'll be Spencer Thompson and Brennan Daniel on the call. Here's the kickoff from Beneke down inside the 30. And Robeson was going to kneel it. He decides not to, decides to return it, and he'll be forced out of bounds at the 36. A flag, and I don't believe the Force player knew that Robeson was out of bounds. I think he was lost. He was trying to just make sure he went down. So I'm assuming they'll probably get them for unnecessary rough. No, face mask. They'll get them for a face mask against the Force. So right now, line of scrimmage at the 36-yard line, but it is going to move. See where they march it off to. And it doesn't matter, because that's your ball game. Your final score, Cabarrus Stallions JV 20, Georgia Force JV 8, and I say that's your ball game. They're gonna let them run one more play. Be a kneel down here from Michalik. And there you go. That is officially the end of your ball game. What a great game between the young men from the Stallions and the Force. It was a lot of fun. We've got more coming for you, folks. But wait, there's more. We'll step aside here, and we'll be back momentarily for the kickoff of Lighthouse Warriors Pack Panthers right here on 8-Man Extreme. This is the 2023 Gatlinburg Black Bear Brawl. We'll catch y'all in the next game.